Hey, this is Mark Garrett here with National Senior Savings. Hope you're doing well today. We're coming up on 2018 open enrollment for Medicare Advantage, and it begins on October the 15th. Watch this video to find out what you need to be successful when you enroll in your Medicare Advantage plan. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, Mark Garrett, President and Founder of National Senior Savings, coming to you with some important information about open enrollment, annual enrollment period that begins on October the 15th, ends on December the 7th in 2017. This is for the 2018 enrollment year. So all these plans basically will go into effect for you if you make a change on January the 1st of 2018. So with that being said, let's get right into the heart of Medicare Advantage. So Medicare Advantage is a plan that typically, and I'm only going to talk about typically here, typically includes a Part D prescription drug plan along with your health benefits. You actually end up having to pay some co-payments along with it. And 1/3 of all the people in this population of the United States, about 57 million Medicare recipients, are on a Medicare Advantage plan. The other 2/3 have either original Medicare with just a Part D prescription drug plan. They have a retirement plan of some kind that goes along with their Medicare. That could be the government or a pension plan, or they have military benefits, their TRICARE for life. The other option that a lot of people choose to go with that don't benefit from something like a TRICARE for life or a pension plan is they go with a Medicare supplement. They're very complete coverage plans, whereas Medicare Advantage plans have a lot of limitations built into them. So you have to ask yourself, what do you have? And the reason why I say, what do you have, is simply for the fact that I talk to hundreds of people throughout the year in my local community, over the phone, calling into our office, and they ask me questions, and I in turn ask them questions. And what I come to find out is a lot of people that think they might have a Medicare supplement do in fact have a Medicare Advantage plan. Medicare Advantage plans, not all, but the majority, your HMOs and PPOs, have a drug plan built into them, a Part D prescription plan built in with your medical benefits to help you out. So with that being said, I will talk about Part D prescription drug plans at a later time. I'm going to do another video in the next few days and put it out prior to open enrollment to answer Part D prescription drug plans, because it's a subject matter that needs to be detailed on its own. So jumping right into it, the first type of plan I'm going to talk about, and there's only two types of plans that the majority of people have, just so you know. Most people have a HMO plan, some variant of it, HMO POS, or just a plain HMO. And a lot of people have a PPO plan, whether it be a local PPO plan or a regional PPO plan. It's a PPO plan. So the two plans that the majority of people that have Medicare Advantage are on are going to be the HMO and the PPO. And these are the plans that you have the opportunity to enroll in or disenroll or make several choices only between October 15th and December the 7th, unless you qualify for a special election period. Once again, I've got other videos on the site about special election periods. You're welcome to look at those. I'm going to get into the core of the matter, the questions that are burning and on people's minds coming into this enrollment. So first off, an HMO, what is it? It's a health maintenance organization. It usually requires a primary care physician. Almost all cases, when you sign up for a plan, you have to make your choice at that time for what primary care physician you're going to utilize. And the other thing about HMOs is they have very limited networks. So it's funny, I was reading an article today put out by Kaiser Foundation, and the article said that as few as 30% of doctors in an area participate in a Medicare Advantage plan. The rest just choose not to. And it really gets difficult to find some of your specialists like neurosurgeons and cardiovascular surgeons, and a few other specialties, cardiologists that participate in plans and like to take the plans. It all depends on where you live, but it's certainly not the first choice for a physician to take. What is it going to do? So it's going to give you a limited network of hospitals. Probably all of your hospitals won't be in it, and it's going to give you a limited network of physicians. Um, when you have a procedure done, like an MRI or a CT that your primary care physician recommends for you to get done, the problem you're going to run into is oftentimes that has to be submitted back to the insurance company and they have to approve it. And when they approve it, then you can go get that testing done. The problem with that is if you needed a test today, you probably would, unless it was an emergent situation, you would probably have to wait until that approval came through. They also require a referral to see a specialist. So, and that has to be approved. So, if your doctor has a specialist that they want you to go see that's without their realm or scope of practice, you're going to have to take and have that referral sent into the company. And typically speaking, they approve you for so many visits. So, I'll have clients that are on a Medicare Advantage plan and they need to see an orthopedic doctor. And they go to the orthopedic doctor, but when that referral got sent in by their primary care physician, they got approved for maybe 6 visits. That's not saying you can't get more visits authorized. What it's saying is they only approve a narrow window to begin with. That's what you're dealing with when you deal with HMOs and kind of what they are to give you a good idea. So the next question you got to ask is what are HMO premiums and what are the benefits? So the nice thing about HMOs is because you're not getting as much bang for your buck, so to speak, and having a primary and getting things approved, they usually have little to no premium. In some states they have or cities they have $0 premium. In other places, HMOs may go up into the $30, $40 range, usually not a very high monthly premium, but they do have some premiums. And then, like I said, in some areas, there's no premium whatsoever. That's usually in populated areas where there's a lot of competition for business with different Medicare Advantage populations. The nice thing about a Medicare Advantage plan is, once again, I'll refer to drugs on another video, is it includes your drugs, but the nice thing is it usually has some ancillary benefits built into it that a lot of people like, and those are including some like limited dental work, limited vision, limited hearing, possible gym membership, and an allotment of OTC medications, either monthly or quarterly. So when it comes to dental, you may have a plan that lets you get your teeth cleaned twice a year. Some actually let you have a filling done. When it comes to vision, some let you just get a vision check. Some actually pay a portion of the cost for a lens and frame for your glasses in your eyes or contact lenses. When it comes to your hearing, they will usually pay a portion of a hearing aid or 2 hearing aids. It depends on the plan. Gym membership, most of the time, they either do or don't have a gym membership, and the network that they use is referred to as Silver Sneakers. If you want to research that and just make sure there's some Silver Sneakers participating uh, venues in your area for the plans that you're on. And you get an allotment of OTC medications. Some do, some don't. What that means is they may give you $15 a month to order from a book of about 8 pages of a lot of commonly used OTC medications. And you can order that every month. Some do it on a quarterly basis. You just have to look at what they do. They give you a bigger sum of money for the quarter than they would if they were giving it to you on a monthly basis. So that's what the premiums are, and that's what the benefits are with an HMO. So when it comes to copayments, your primary care physician is going to range anywhere from $0 for a visit to $25 for a visit. You have to remember one thing. There are 2,200 Medicare Advantage plans in the United States of America. It would be impossible for me or anyone to give you the specifics on a video like this of what is and what isn't in the county the city, the state that you live in. There's just too many plans to address that. Hospitalization, you usually have a copay, and it ranges in days and it varies in amount. So some are day 1 through 7, $225. Some are day 1 through 5, 250. Some are day 1 through 4, 395. So it all is going to vary depending on the company you go with, once again, on what days and co-payments you have for those days. You're going to have some payments for surgery, for MRIs, CTs, X-rays, possibly labs, and co-payments once again vary. You may pay $250 for an outpatient surgery or an MRI. It all depends on the area you live in and what's built into that plan, but guaranteed you are going to have some co-payments with that plan. Typically, you can only receive emergency services when traveling out of the network. Very important to remember. With an HMO, you don't have an open network where you can go anywhere in the country and see another physician. You are limited to the doctors that are participating in that HMO network that you are in. It's very important to remember that. That doesn't mean you can't go visit your niece or your cousin or your sister out in California from New York and not be able to get seen if you got sick. You would only have emergency room services and whatever they needed to do to get you stable and get you well enough to where you could possibly receive the rest of your treatment back home from your network providers. They do have a built-in urgent care too. That's usually a $35 copayment. Emergency rooms are usually around $75 copayment that you would have to pay. That's in network or out of network if it's an emergency. So, what are PPOs? PPOs are preferred provider organizations. PPOs also have a network, although they are often larger than HMOs. So they still have a network. A lot of people think I have a PPO, I can see whoever I want. Au contraire, that is not exactly true. You can see whoever is a participant in a PPO network because not every physician is going to be with every company. You have so many companies out there offering Medicare Advantage. Some physicians accept this company, but they don't accept that company. And they wouldn't be within the PPO network for you if they don't accept that insurance at all. You don't normally do not have to choose a primary care physician. So the nice thing about a PPO is it does give you a little bit more choice. It's going to let you choose a primary care. If you decide you want to go to whoever, you can do it at that moment in time with research and maybe advice from friends or someone within the medical community. You can get procedures done quickly. So when they order CTs and different tests and procedures for you, you don't have to go through the whole approval process prior to getting that done. You don't have to get an approval to get referred to a specialist. As a matter of fact, you don't have to get referred to a specialist. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call, and you can get in to see a specialist that's in your network. But I'm going to give you a little secret real quick. Usually, your physician primary care that you see, even in a PPO network, can actually get you in to see another physician quicker than you could by dialing that phone yourself. It's just because it's a professional courtesy of one recommending this patient to the other. Um, a couple of the larger companies have PPO networks that can be used nationwide. That doesn't mean you have free reign, but they have these extended networks that are called PPO networks with fewer physicians in them. And let's say you were in Kansas and you were going to Oregon and you were going to be there for several months, you could actually use some of the larger companies to PPO network wherever you traveled to. And that doesn't always happen with your smaller Medicare Advantage companies. Really, not comparing any plans here, just throwing some stuff out. Typically, like Humana and United are your nationwide plans, and typically they have those networks where you can see another physician if you're traveling. Unfortunately, we like Blue Cross Blue Shield, great company, but they are owned and operated, and each separate state is a different entity. They're not a big nationwide company, so to speak. They're different in every state that you're in. So something to consider if you're thinking about doing a lot of traveling is, what PPO am I going to go with and with what company? And you're just going to go have to look at the benefit package and talk to your broker or give me or someone in my office a call, and we'll be happy to answer those questions for you because that's what we do. It's always free. We don't charge anything. Um, PPO premium and benefits. So PPOs have a higher monthly premium. PPOs, sometimes you might find them in some locations with a $0 premium, but typically speaking, you're going to find PPOs with a premium somewhere in the 20 to 130 or $140 a month range. And it varies that widely. I wish I could put a hard number on it for you, but you can pretty much in most states uh, plan on spending some money if you want a PPO. This is an addition to your Part B premium that you pay to the government, which is like $134 this year. A lot of people think, well, I'm already paying $134. Well, I'm sorry, you're getting another insurance on top of that, and you're going to have to pay the additional. So Part B premiums do not cover that. It'd be nice if they did, but they don't. You might get some extra benefits too, just like you do with an HMO, some dental, some vision, hearing, gym membership. So there are some perks built into a PPO. The most important thing to remember about that PPO is the ability it gives you to manage your doctors more so than an HMO does. PPO copayments. PPO copayments are usually a little bit more because you're paying a premium price for the choice that you're getting. So you're getting more choices, and by getting that, you're usually going to pay a higher price. Your PCP visits, primary care physician, usually about $15 to $35 per visit in most states and counties and cities for a PPO. There are several different types of PPOs. There's regional PPOs, plain PPOs, LPPOs, local PPOs. So once again, 2,200 plans in the country. You got to find out what it is that works for you. Co-payments for surgery and procedures is not that different than an HMO. So you're going to have co-payments for surgeries and MRIs and CTs, and the price on those is not that different than what it was for an HMO as far as your co-payments go. One of the most important things you need to remember here, I'll talk about in a second, is with a Medicare Advantage, there's something called a maximum out of pocket. So even though you might be paying $15 or $50 to go see a specialist or a primary care physician or $250 for surgery, if you have a lot of illness within a year, there's a maximum out of pocket. That means you could come out of your pocket an additional, $6,800 in a year. Most companies keep it between $4,900 to $6,500, but that's a huge chunk of change to come up with if it's not something you planned in your budget. That's why I always preach Medicare supplements, is because Medicare supplements are a fixed price. You know what you're going to pay. There are no surprises. There's no pumpkins jumping out of the closet at you. A Medicare supplement is what it is. You pay a premium, it pays what Medicare does not. Okay, so moving on. The things I want you to remember is both an HMO and a PPO have networks. Sometimes as low as 30% of physicians in your area actually participate in those networks. That leaves 70% of the doctors that you're not getting an opportunity to see that may be the best of the best in their field, but because of the plan you've locked yourself into, you don't get that opportunity. I'm not downing Medicare Advantage because a lot of people get Medicare Advantage for whatever reason. It fits their budget. That's entirely, you have to make that choice. But I am letting you know some of the pitfalls of that. They have a difficult time getting specialists to join. So some of your top specialists, cardiovascular surgeons, neurosurgeons, you may have a very limited number that actually want to join a Medicare Advantage plan because it's just not beneficial to them to do so. You could be responsible for, like I said, $6,800 out of pocket expenses Most plans limit it between 49 to 6,500, but you could be responsible for up to $6,800 out of your pocket. And that is a huge chunk of change to come up with uh, for a calendar year, or you started having a chronic long-term condition that needed a lot of treatment, it could be for the rest of your life every year. We're going to talk drugs on the next video that I do, and